10 countries that may ban Americans by 2026. Traveling the world used to be a symbol of freedom, an open invitation to explore diverse cultures and forge connections across borders. But what if some countries are preparing to shut their doors to Americans? What if that freedom is about to be curtailed? Tensions are rising on the global stage, political fault lines are deepening, and global dynamics are shifting in unpredictable ways. The world is becoming increasingly complex. Here are 10 countries that may ban Americans by 2026. These potential bans are driven by a complex interplay of factors. From strained diplomatic ties to rising nationalism and security fears, the reasons are varied and deeply rooted. 1. Russia. Russia's relationship with the United States has deteriorated significantly in recent years. Sanctions, accusations of interference in elections, and the ongoing conflict in Ukraine have all contributed to a deep chasm between the two nations. The Kremlin views the U.S. as an adversary. Given the current trajectory, a complete ban on American travelers to Russia is a distinct possibility. This would be a symbolic act of defiance. It would further isolate Russia from the West. 2. North Korea. North Korea is already one of the most isolated countries in the world. Travel to North Korea is heavily restricted. Americans require special permission and are subject to constant surveillance. Given the country's existing restrictions and its unwavering hostility towards the United States, a permanent travel ban for Americans seems inevitable. This would further entrench North Korea's isolation. It would eliminate any remaining opportunities for cultural exchange. 3. Iran. Iran's relationship with the United States has been fraught with tension for decades. The collapse of the nuclear agreement and ongoing political instability have further exacerbated these tensions. The possibility of military conflict remains a constant threat. A complete block on American visitors to Iran is a real possibility. This would be a direct response to perceived U.S. aggression. It would further isolate Iran from the international community. 4. Venezuela. Venezuela has been plagued by political and economic turmoil for years. The United States has imposed sanctions on the country. This has led to a retaliatory stance from the Venezuelan government. Espionage concerns and a general distrust of American intentions could lead to increased travel restrictions for U.S. citizens. This would further complicate the already strained relationship between the two countries. It would limit opportunities for Americans to witness the situation on the ground. 5. China. The U.S.-China relationship is increasingly characterized by rivalry and competition. Trade disputes, tech conflicts, and human rights concerns have all contributed to a growing sense of unease. Each side views the other with suspicion. Selective bans targeting specific groups of Americans are a distinct possibility. These bans could target individuals involved in tech, politics, or human rights advocacy. This would be a calculated move to exert pressure on the United States. 6. Afghanistan. The Taliban's return to power in Afghanistan has fundamentally altered the country's relationship with the West. The presence of Westerners is viewed with suspicion. The security situation remains precarious. The possibility of even humanitarian visits becoming impossible is a grim reality. The Taliban's ideology and their distrust of Western influence make any form of engagement extremely challenging. The country is largely closed off. 7. Turkey. Turkey's political landscape has shifted in recent years. Anti-Western rhetoric has become increasingly prevalent. Internal political shifts have raised concerns about the country's commitment to democratic values. Tighter entry rules for Americans are a growing possibility. This could be a reflection of Turkey's changing geopolitical alignment. It could also be a response to perceived U.S. interference in Turkish affairs. 8. Belarus. Belarus remains a staunch ally of Russia. It often mirrors Moscow's policies and actions. The country's authoritarian government has been widely criticized for its human rights record. An American tourist ban could be implemented as a political move. This would be a symbolic gesture of solidarity with Russia. It would further isolate Belarus from the West. 9. Pakistan. Pakistan faces numerous challenges, including rising extremism and a complex relationship with the West. Distrust of American intentions is widespread. The country's internal security situation remains volatile. Blocking certain foreign nationals, starting with Americans, is a possibility. This could be framed as a measure to protect national security. It would further complicate the already delicate relationship between the United States and Pakistan. 10. Nicaragua. Nicaragua has experienced significant political unrest in recent years. The government's increasingly authoritarian tendencies have led to widespread condemnation. Hostility towards U.S. travelers is on the rise. Increasing hostility towards American travelers is a worrying trend. This could manifest in stricter visa requirements, increased surveillance, or even outright bans. The country is becoming increasingly closed off to the outside world. While these bans haven't happened yet, the possibility looms large. Strained diplomacy, rising nationalism, and security fears are all contributing factors. The world is changing rapidly. The impact of these potential bans would be significant. It would become harder for Americans to see the world. It would limit opportunities for cultural exchange and understanding. The freedom to travel is a fundamental right. It is a cornerstone of a free and open society. But that freedom is under threat. So if you have a global bucket list, now might be the time to act. Don't wait for the doors to close. Seize the opportunity to explore the world while you still can. The world is changing. The geopolitical landscape is shifting. And the window of opportunity may be closing.